Okay, I want to combine a few concepts from past videos all into one. It's the video that I did, This Is Why I Make My Bed Every Morning, which was a few months ago, maybe a year ago. I forget. And the one that I put out a few weeks ago, Goodbye Procrastination. Let me give you a little bit of insight into how these connect together and why it's so important to really set really small, achievable goals for yourself so you can develop some profound momentum. Hi, my name is Shawn Sommerkamp, and this is Motivationeer Christian Coaching. So going back to the video that I made on This Is Why I Make My Bed Every Morning, remember, if you haven't watched it, I'll give you a quick update. The idea behind making my bed every morning was way back in the early 90s as the method my sponsor in AA gave me to stay sober. Basically, he kept saying, hey, just make your bed if you want to stay sober. Do it every morning and you'll stay sober. And I didn't really get it. Then he kind of jokingly said, just shut up and make your bed every day. And what eventually happened was, after a few months, I started realizing, wow, I've got this nice, clean, neat bed, but everything around it on the floor is a complete mess. I'm going to start keeping trash and clothes and stuff off of the floor. I'll vacuum it once a week and then keep my bed made every day. And then that eventually moved to organizing and straightening my desk, the top of it, then sorting everything in the drawers, then my file system, then my refrigerator, then my living room, and then my checkbook and my finances, etc. It snowballed because he knew the power of starting with one small achievable thing. The Goodbye Procrastination video I did a couple of weeks ago is that concept. The SMART goal, in a sense: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. If we make a goal achievable, we'll be able to get rid of procrastination. Now, what I want to fold into it is one other video I did, the List It or Lose It. It's based on this idea of the Zeegernik Effect. This is Bluma Zeegernik, who I think back in the 40s, she's a Lithuanian psychologist, understood the generation of stress hormones in our body came when we left a task unfinished. For those of us that are in high levels of leadership roles, we have so many tasks, it's almost impossible to prioritize all of them. So what we do is we focus on getting what's in our head floating around, the bird's nest of all the things to do, onto a sheet of paper. This is the Zeegernik principle being dissolved. We get rid of that cortisol and adrenaline, norepinephrine, by getting the things out of our head onto a sheet of paper. Well, I've got this one client, a CEO, who now has stacks of legal size yellow pads of paper all over the top of his desk. And to think about how to then take that and put it into an organizational system, it's just too overwhelming. This is the idea that my sponsor way back in the early 90s helped me see. We can't get sober in a day. We can't get completely organized in a day. We can't take the stacks of paper of action items written all over all these papers from all the meetings that we're in all throughout the day, everywhere we're at, and get them into one system so that we can start prioritizing perfectly. It's just too much. That will lead to procrastination. As I said in the video last week, a few weeks ago, that act becomes too big to conquer, and then we choose not to do it. Just like getting sober overnight is way too big of a concept, so people choose not to do it if they make it too big of a thing, okay? So if you really want to develop dynamic personal growth, getting organized is a way to do it. Keeping things super simple so that we do things incrementally better, a little tiny bit at a time, makes it easy to get started, and man, it will snowball into something great. We'll create real velocity. This is yet another one of the videos, concepts that I did, the Kaizen principle. Change good or change for the better, the Japanese term Kaizen. We always want to be improving. When we have the mindset of continuous improvement in little, tiny, small increments and keep that as our foundation, we won't get overwhelmed. We will get rid of the cortisol and adrenaline. We will keep a system of things to track and prioritize by. And it all comes down ultimately to just knowing, hey, if I'm going to get better, I'm going to do it in small steps. If I'm not getting better, have grace on myself like God's given us grace, and then do it in a small, achievable, meaningful way. When we do that, man, growth is inevitable. If you do start doing what I'm doing, where you take on this mindset of small incremental steps to improvement to get better, a little bit better today than I was yesterday, please leave me a comment. Tell me about how it's working for you. I would really love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for 2 new videos each week. Tell me in the comments below about your career situation, and I'll make a video for you with a shout out. You can also become a member at Motivationeer.com. Your career is not just a way to make a living, it's a way to transform the world.